Hello everyone, and welcome back to English TalkNest. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Cindy. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Today we're going to talk about something that every English learner struggles with at some point, how to speak English smoothly without pausing too much.
Let me ask you a quick question. Do you sometimes start speaking English but then suddenly stop because you don't know the right word?
Or maybe you pause a lot because you're first thinking in your own language and then trying to translate into English before speaking.
If that happens to you, don't worry. You are not alone. Many English learners have the same problem. They know grammar, they know vocabulary, but when it's time to actually speak, their mind goes blank. They pause, and pause, and pause.
Yes, I've seen this happen with so many learners. And the good news is we can fix it together. In this episode, we'll show you why people pause too much, how to change your mindset, and what simple techniques you can use to keep speaking smoothly.
And we'll also give you some useful words and phrases that can help you continue speaking even if you don't know exactly what to say.
By the end, you'll have clear, easy steps you can practice every single day, so you can speak English with confidence without those long, uncomfortable pauses.
So, are you ready? Let's dive in.
Before we talk about how to solve the problem, we need to understand why it happens in the first place. Why do English learners pause too much when they speak?
There are 4 very common reasons. Let's go through them one by one.
Reason number 1, fear of mistakes. Many learners feel nervous because they don't want to say the wrong word or use the wrong grammar.
Right. You might think, oh no, what if I say it wrong? What if people laugh at me? That fear makes your brain freeze, and then you stop speaking.
But here's the truth. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes all the time.
Reason number 2, searching for vocabulary. Sometimes you want to say something, but you don't remember the exact English word.
Like when you want to say refrigerator, but you forget the word. You stop speaking, your brain starts searching, and the pause gets longer and longer.
That makes you feel less confident, right?
Exactly. Now, reason number 3, translating from your native language. Many learners think in their own language first, then try to translate word by word into English.
And translation takes time. For example, in your language, maybe you think, in my home, there is a box cold big food inside keep. Then you slowly try to change it into English.
Which of course causes a big pause. You're not speaking directly in English, you're translating step by step.
And finally, reason number 4, nervousness. Sometimes the problem is not grammar or vocabulary, it's just nerves.
Right. When you talk to a teacher, a friend, or maybe a foreigner, your heart beats faster. You feel pressure, and when you're nervous, your brain works more slowly. That makes you pause.
So let's quickly review the 4 big reasons: fear of mistakes, searching for vocabulary, translating from your native language, and nervousness.
If you understand these reasons, you can start to fix them. And don't worry, later in this episode, we'll share very simple, practical techniques you can use every day.
But before we get to techniques, there's something even more important we need to talk about.
Yes, your mindset. When most people learn English, they focus on perfection. They think, I must use perfect grammar. I must choose the exact right word. I must speak like a native speaker.
But here's the truth. Perfection is not the goal. The real goal is fluency.
Fluency means you can speak smoothly, without long pauses, and other people can understand you.
And think about this. Even native speakers don't speak perfectly. They make grammar mistakes. They change words in the middle of a sentence. And they use fillers like, or,
But they still sound natural because they keep talking without stopping.
For example, you might say, yesterday I went to the park.
Yes, you made a little grammar mistake at first, but you corrected yourself and kept speaking. That's good communication.
Now, compare that to this. Yesterday, how to say, and then you stop. That's not good because the pause is too long.
Exactly. The listener gets confused. So remember, it's better to make a small grammar mistake and keep going than to stop completely and say nothing.
If you change your mindset from perfection to fluency, you'll feel more relaxed. You'll focus on expressing your ideas, not on being perfect.
And this change in mindset will help you reduce pauses and sound much more confident.
So, we've seen why we pause and why mindset is important. Next, let's talk about some practical steps you can start using today.
Yes, we'll go step by step and show you how to make your English smooth and natural.
That's coming up next.
All right, let's continue with some very practical steps. These are techniques you can use right away to make your English sound smoother and reduce those long pauses.
Step number 1. Keep your sentences short and simple. Many learners try to build long, complicated sentences, but then they forget what they wanted to say halfway through. That's when the pause happens.
Exactly. Instead of trying to make one giant sentence, break it into small pieces. For example, instead of saying, I want to tell you about my weekend because it was very interesting and I did many activities with my family, and we also visited my uncle's house where we had a big dinner together.
You can simply say, I want to tell you about my weekend. It was very interesting. I did many activities with my family. We visited my uncle's house. We had a big dinner together.
Short, clear, easy to follow. No long pause.
Step number 2. Speak in chunks or ready-made phrases. Don't try to build every single sentence word by word in your head. Instead, learn phrases that you can use often.
For example, phrases like, in my opinion, to be honest, the reason is, I would like to. These are chunks that come out naturally, almost automatically.
And the best part is, while you're saying one chunk, your brain gets time to prepare the next idea. That way you don't pause in silence.
Step number 3. Use fillers naturally. Even native speakers pause sometimes, but they don't stay silent. They use fillers like, well, you know, actually, let me think.
These words give you a few extra seconds to think, but you're still speaking. For example, well, yesterday I, went shopping with my friend.
See? There's no awkward silence. It still sounds natural.
Step number 4. Don't translate in your head. This is a big one. When you translate, you stop and think too much. Instead, try to think directly in English.
For example, if you see a dog, don't think of the word in your own language first, then translate it. Just think, dog. One way to practice this is to describe things around you in English. For example, this is my phone. It's black. I use it every day. The more you do this, the faster your brain connects thoughts directly in English without pausing.
Step number 5. Keep going even if you make mistakes. If you forget a word, don't stop. Try to explain it in another way.
For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can say, it's like a big box in the kitchen. It keeps food cold.
Yes, and you keep the flow going. So let's quickly review the steps. Use short sentences, speak in chunks, use fillers, think in English, and keep going even if you make mistakes.
If you practice these steps every day, your pauses will become shorter and shorter, and your speaking will sound smoother and more natural.
Now let's add another layer, vocabulary and phrases that can help you sound more fluent. These are like little bridges that connect your ideas, so you can keep speaking without stopping.
First, connectors. These are words that join your sentences together. Words like first, then, after that, finally, because, so, but, however.
For example, first, I woke up early. Then, I had breakfast. After that, I went to work. Notice how the story flows step by step with no long pauses.
Second, sentence starters. Sometimes we pause because we don't know how to begin. Sentence starters give you a safe, easy way to start speaking.
Phrases like, in my opinion, I think, the reason is, what I mean is, these give you a few extra seconds to think, but you're still speaking.
For example, well, I think learning English is fun. Actually, I enjoy listening to podcasts every day. Sounds natural, right? And again, no long silence.
Fourth, paraphrasing phrases. When you forget a word, you can keep speaking by using phrases like, it's similar to. You can say it's.
For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can say, it's like a big box in the kitchen. It keeps food cold.
So remember these four tools: connectors, sentence starters, fillers, and paraphrasing phrases. They are your best friends. They help you avoid silence and make your English sound natural and confident.
But that's not all. There's one powerful technique that can speed up your fluency even faster.
Yes, it's called shadowing, and it's one of the best ways to train your brain and your tongue to work together smoothly.
Let's talk about how to do it.
So, what exactly is shadowing? It's very simple. You listen to a native speaker, maybe in a podcast, a YouTube video, or an audiobook, and at the same time, you repeat what they say. You try to copy their speed, their rhythm, and even their intonation, just like a shadow follows a person. That's why we call it shadowing.
Let's make this clear with an example. Imagine you're listening to someone say, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. and have coffee before work. You immediately repeat after them, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. and have coffee before work.
At first, you might not be able to follow every single word. That's normal. The important thing is to try to copy as much as you can. The more you practice, the easier it will become.
And here's why shadowing is so powerful. It trains your brain and your mouth to work faster together. Instead of thinking word by word, you start speaking with the same natural flow as native speakers.
Which means fewer pauses and smoother, more natural English.
So how can you practice shadowing every day? Here's a simple routine. Step 1. Choose a short audio clip, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute. Step 2. Play it and repeat at the same time. Step 3. Do it again and again until it feels easier.
Then, when that becomes comfortable, try a slightly longer clip, maybe 2 minutes, then 5 minutes. If you practice shadowing for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, your fluency will improve dramatically.
And when you speak on your own, you'll notice that your pauses are shorter, your rhythm feels smoother, and your confidence grows.
Now, shadowing is great, but we also need daily speaking exercises. These are simple activities you can do alone, anytime, anywhere, to train yourself to speak without pausing.
Exercise 1. Talk to yourself in English. It might sound funny, but it's one of the easiest and most effective habits. Describe what you're doing in English. For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making breakfast. I'm walking to the bus stop.
This trains your brain to think directly in English, without giving it time to translate.
Exercise 2. Record your voice. Choose a topic, like your weekend, your favorite food, or your daily routine. Speak for 1 to 2 minutes and record it. Then, listen. Notice where you paused too long. Try again and see if you can reduce those pauses.
Each time you repeat this, you'll sound smoother.
Exercise 3. Timed speaking. Set a timer for 1 minute. Pick a topic like my favorite movie. Try to speak for the full minute without stopping. Don't worry if you make mistakes, just keep talking.
When 1 minute feels easy, increase to 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. Over time, your brain will learn to keep going without freezing.
Exercise 4. Use a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror and speak to yourself. Watch your face and your expressions. It feels more like real communication, and it helps you use body language naturally while speaking.
These exercises don't need a partner. You can practice alone, even just 10 minutes a day. And believe me, the results will surprise you.
You'll notice you think faster, you speak faster, and your pauses become shorter and shorter.
Now, before we move forward, we have to talk about something very important: confidence.
Yes, confidence is one of the biggest reasons people pause too much. Think about it. Fear of mistakes, fear of not sounding good, fear of what others might think.
But here's the truth: mistakes are not the problem. Pausing too much is the real problem.
That's right. If you keep talking, people will understand you, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
Think about native speakers. They make mistakes too, but they don't stop speaking. They just keep going.
So if native speakers can speak with small mistakes, why can't you?
The key is practice. The more you speak, the less nervous you feel. Start small. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or practice with a mirror.
Then, step by step, try speaking with a friend, a teacher, or a language partner. Slowly, your confidence will grow.
And remember, confidence is not about speaking perfectly. Confidence is about speaking without fear.
So, we've looked at shadowing, daily exercises, and confidence. But how can you make these practices a part of your everyday life?
That's what we'll explore next. Simple routines you can use daily to train your brain and keep improving.
Let's talk now about building daily routines. Because here's the secret: fluency doesn't come from studying once in a while. It comes from small, regular practice every day.
Exactly. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush once a week and expect clean teeth, right? You do it every day, just a few minutes, and that keeps your teeth healthy.
And it's the same with English. Short, daily practice is much more powerful than one long session once a week.
So, how can you build English speaking into your everyday life? Let's go step by step.
First, choose a time of day. Maybe in the morning before work or school. Maybe in the evening before bed. Make it your English time. Even just 10 minutes is enough.
During that time, you can pick one of the exercises we talked about: talking to yourself, recording your voice, timed speaking, or mirror practice. The important thing is consistency.
Second, use the world around you as your practice ground. For example, when you're cooking, describe what you're doing in English. I'm cutting vegetables. I'm boiling water. I'm adding salt.
Or when you're walking outside, describe what you see. The sky is blue. A man is riding a bike. There are children playing in the park.
These little moments train your brain to think in English naturally without translating.
Third, combine listening with speaking. For example, listen to a short English podcast or YouTube video and then immediately summarize it in your own words.
You don't have to explain it perfectly. Just say, I listened to a story about, the main idea was, I learned that. This way, you're turning passive listening into active speaking.
Fourth, create your fluency notebook. In this notebook, write down useful chunks and phrases you want to use. Not long grammar explanations, just short, ready-to-use sentences.
For example, you might write, in my opinion, actually, I think, let me explain. Then, during your daily practice, open your notebook and use those phrases while speaking.
Over time, these phrases become automatic, and you won't pause as much because you already have the language ready.
Another idea is to set small challenges for yourself. For example, today I will talk about my favorite food for 2 minutes without stopping. Or today I will use the phrase to be honest 3 times in my speaking practice.
These mini challenges make practice fun and give you clear goals.
Now, let's add something many learners forget: body language and emotion.
Yes, when you speak English, use your hands, your face, your smile. Don't just stand stiff like a robot.
Because when you move your body, your speaking becomes more natural. The words flow more easily.
And emotion is important too. If you talk about something exciting, sound excited. If you share something serious, use a serious tone.
This makes your English sound alive, and it helps you keep speaking without overthinking.
Here's another important tip. Don't practice alone forever. At some point, you need real interaction.
True. Talking to yourself is great, but conversations with real people give you pressure, the good kind of pressure, to keep going.
You can find a language partner online, join an English club, or practice with friends who are also learning.
And if you don't have anyone to talk to, even speaking with AI chatbots or voice apps is a good way to simulate conversation.
The key is to practice in situations where you can't just stop and stay silent. You have to keep speaking, even if it's not perfect.
That's how you train yourself to think fast and reduce pauses.
Let's pause here and think about what we've covered. We talked about making English a daily habit, using the world around you for practice, keeping a fluency notebook, and adding body language and emotion.
And we also talked about the importance of real interaction with other people.
All these strategies will help you build momentum, step by step, day by day.
And as you keep going, you'll notice something amazing. Your pauses will shrink, your words will connect more smoothly, and you'll feel proud of how much progress you've made.
But let's be honest, sometimes, even with good practice, you will still pause. That's normal. The question is, what do you do in those moments?
Great question. And that's what we'll talk about next, how to handle pauses when they happen and how to keep the conversation alive instead of going silent. So let's get into one of the biggest challenges every learner faces, what to do when you pause in the middle of speaking. Because no matter how much you practice, pauses will happen. The key is not to avoid them completely, but to manage them with confidence.
That's right. Think about native speakers. They also pause. They say, well, or, you know. The difference is they don't panic about it. They just keep going.
Exactly. Pauses only become a problem when you freeze, when you stop completely, or when you feel embarrassed. So let's learn some tricks to turn pauses into natural moments.
The first trick is to use filler phrases. Instead of being silent, say something like, let me think. That's a good question. Or, well, actually. These phrases buy you time, and they make your English sound natural.
Yes, and these fillers aren't just noise. They're useful. They show your listener that you're still thinking, that the conversation is alive. For example, if someone asks, "What do you like about learning English?" you can say, let me think. Actually, I really enjoy meeting people from different countries.
See, that little pause becomes part of your answer.
The second trick is to keep moving forward even if the sentence isn't perfect. Many learners stop speaking because they want to find the exact right word. But here's the truth. Fluency is not about perfect words. It's about communication.
For example, maybe you forget the word umbrella. Instead of stopping, you can say, the thing you use when it rains to stay dry. People will understand you and you'll keep the flow.
Over time, the exact words will come. But at the beginning, your goal is to keep the sentence alive.
The third trick is to rephrase. If one sentence feels difficult, don't get stuck. Just change it. For example, instead of saying, I have been fascinated by the complexity of human behavior since childhood, you can say, I think people are very interesting, even since I was young.
That's such a good example. It's simpler, but it communicates the same idea, and it keeps your English flowing without long pauses.
Another powerful strategy is storytelling. When you tell a story, your mind has a clear path. It's easier to keep speaking because you know what comes next, beginning, middle, and end.
Yes, even a short story. Like, last weekend I went to the park. I met a friend. We had ice cream. It was fun. Simple, clear, and smooth.
And here's a fun tip. Don't be afraid to smile or laugh when you pause. If you forget a word, you can smile and say, "Oh, what's the word? Never mind." This keeps the energy positive, and your listener will feel relaxed too.
That's very true. Confidence is not about speaking without mistakes. Confidence is about continuing even when you make mistakes.
I love that. And I think this is the mindset every learner needs. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to keep going.
Right. And if you keep going, the pauses become shorter and less frequent. You'll notice yourself speaking longer sentences, expressing bigger ideas, and feeling freer with your English.
Let's also talk about listening, because when you're in a real conversation, listening well helps reduce pauses.
Exactly. If you focus carefully on what the other person is saying, your brain naturally prepares a response. But if you worry too much about grammar, you might freeze when it's your turn to speak.
So instead of thinking, what's the correct tense? What's the perfect vocabulary? Just think, what is the main idea? How can I answer simply?
That's the secret to real conversations. Stay in the moment, listen deeply, and respond naturally.
And remember, every time you survive a pause, every time you keep going instead of stopping, you're training your brain to be more fluent.
It's like exercising a muscle. Each time you push through, you get stronger.
So now we've covered how to turn pauses into something natural, how to use filler phrases, how to rephrase, and how to keep the conversation alive with stories and confidence.
But here's the big question. How do you stay motivated to keep practicing day after day, even when progress feels slow?
That's the heart of fluency, motivation and mindset.
And that's exactly what we're going to dive into next. Because the right mindset is what keeps you practicing until English feels truly natural. Now we've reached the most important part of this journey, the mindset that keeps you moving forward. Because techniques are great, but without the right attitude, it's easy to give up.
That's so true. Many learners start strong, but then they get discouraged when progress feels slow. They think, why am I still making mistakes? Why am I not fluent yet?
And here's the truth. Fluency is not a race. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a long journey, and every step forward counts.
Exactly. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, you only see a small seed, but underground, roots are growing, slowly but surely. One day, that seed becomes a tall, strong tree.
And the same thing happens with English. Even if you don't see big results right away, your brain is growing stronger every time you practice.
So, the first mindset shift is this: celebrate small wins. Did you speak for 1 minute without stopping? That's a win. Did you use a new phrase in conversation? That's a win.
Because these small wins add up. Over time, they create big results.
The second mindset shift is to accept mistakes as part of learning. Mistakes are not signs of failure, they are proof that you are practicing.
Yes, if you never make mistakes, it means you're not pushing yourself. Fluency comes when you step outside your comfort zone.
Think of mistakes as stepping stones across a river. Each one gets you closer to the other side.
And here's something powerful. People don't judge you as much as you think. Most listeners are impressed that you're speaking a second language at all.
Exactly. They admire your effort. So instead of being shy or afraid, speak with pride. You're doing something amazing.
The third mindset shift is to focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection will always feel impossible, but progress is something you can see and feel.
For example, maybe last month you could only speak for 30 seconds. Now you can speak for 2 minutes. That's progress. Celebrate it.
The fourth mindset shift is patience. Fluency takes time, months, even years. But every minute you invest in practice is building your future self.
And remember, you are not alone. Millions of learners around the world are on the same journey. When you watch videos like this, when you practice with friends, when you challenge yourself, you're part of a global community of English learners.
That's why we created English TalkNest,
to remind you that you're not just learning words and grammar, you're building confidence, connection, and a voice that can reach across borders.
And that's the real gift of English. It opens doors, creates opportunities, and allows you to share your ideas with the world.
So here's our final message to you. Don't give up. Even if you feel stuck, even if you pause too much, even if you think you're not good enough, keep going.
Because every time you speak, even imperfectly, you're getting closer to fluency.
And one day, you'll look back and realize that all the little moments of practice, the self-talk, the mirror practice, the short daily routines, they added up to something huge.
You'll discover that English is no longer something you study. It's something you live.
So keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be brave.
Thank you for joining us here at English TalkNest. We're proud of you, and we can't wait to see how far your English will take you.
Stay motivated, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Until then, keep speaking, keep smiling, and keep growing. Your English journey is just beginning.